Liverpool today, the sun is absolutely shining. We're stood in the Memorial Garden as we speak. It's now open to members of the public, and people have been coming in a steady stream since it's been open in order to take in the Memorial Garden itself. It's just the most beautiful thing to be commemorating, of course, 80 years since the Battle of the Atlantic. Now, it's been described as the longest fought and the toughest battle of World War II. We know that many people fought in that, and what it was all about was the Allies providing supplies to Great Britain throughout World War II, because without those supplies, Great Britain as an island nation would have been forced to give up the gun effectively to Germany. So it saw the United Kingdom and their allies take on German U-boats, the Kriegsmarine and the Luftwaffe throughout almost the entirety of World War II, from that September in 1939 all the way through to May of 1945. Now, of course, today is all about commemorating those veterans who played such an important role in defeating Germany in World War II. And I had the absolute privilege just a moment ago speaking to one of those veterans.
I went in as a boy, I came out as a man. I left school, I couldn't read or write. Everything I did, I learned from the Navy. I learned from the Navy. I'm proud of it, and I thank the Navy.
Well, Sophie, a very emotional moment there, underpinning just what this means for so many people, because I guess to Liverpool at the heart of it, it wasn't just the Royal Naval personnel, it was all the merchant marine sailors involved as well, in terms of keeping Britain literally alive and keeping that supply route across the Atlantic open.
Absolutely, and I think emotional really does encapsulate my conversation there with such a lovely gentleman. He actually told me that he moved to Liverpool, and within a week he met his wife, who he was married to for 71 years. It really is always such a privilege to speak to these veterans whenever we get the opportunity to do so. But today is all about commemorating those veterans. Princess Anne, Her Royal Highness, said something that I thought was really encapsulated it, which was that the Battle of the Atlantic was a triumph of international cooperation. And that's what it really was. It was the United Kingdom working with its allies to keep the battle going, to make sure that they ultimately could defeat Germany.
And as well as seeing the Princess Royal now in our pictures, we saw part of the flypast, which people might find a bit odd when we talk about the Battle of the Atlantic. But of course, the ferry Swordfish, and we're just seeing the Battle of Britain flight now, the Lancaster, and also, I think, a Spitfire and a more modern anti-submarine aircraft they're going across. It was the role of the Fleet Air Arm as well, and those on the carrier-based aircraft who helped in this operation.
Absolutely. I mean, the Royal Navy is what people will automatically think of when they think of a battle carried out on the Atlantic Ocean. But like you say, those people on those planes will have played an absolutely integral role in keeping the battle going. We've seen pictures, archive footage from the Battle of the Atlantic, where we see people on those planes playing that pivotal role. It's so important that we commemorate not just those boats, and later we will be on board and the HMS Defender, speaking to some other veterans who are part of the Royal Navy. But it's also important that we acknowledge that it wasn't just the Royal Navy, as you say. It's all of the people who played a part in World War II and the Battle of the Atlantic, and we remember them today.
Yeah, just seeing a Sunderland flying boat now as we speak with that wonderful archive. But just for those who want to come and visit and pay their own respects, so if you just let us know exactly where the garden is. Where's the location there in Liverpool?
So we're at the Our Lady and St Nicholas Church, which, if people don't know that specifically, it's right on the dock front near the pierhead. And if someone needs an even more specific thing, if I look up, I'm looking right at the Liver building. So it's just over the road from there if people want to come and pay their respects and tributes to those veterans.
Okay, and can't miss it, perhaps, for that very reason. But as you were saying, I mean, for those involved in that battle, it's been an incredibly important day. And just reflect, do we know what the Princess Royal managed to say to those veterans when she met them?
I think the overarching theme of her speech was thanks and gratitude. We did see quite a few veterans sat taking in the Princess Royal's words, and that's really what she had to say. She thanks them for their dedication to Britain and to the war. She also said, as I said, that the Battle of the Atlantic was a triumph of international cooperation, because of course it wasn't just Great Britain who fought in that against Germany. It was also our allies and America, of course, who played a huge role. Of course, they are our friends from over the Atlantic, so they played a huge part in the Battle of the Atlantic as well.